Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Gina must have been in the countdown, baby. As soon as it hit zero, she popped. Bing, she was there.
I put them right in as soon as I saw her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's they move. Good morning, Gina Lee.
Good morning, Party Marty. Good morning, CC. Good morning, Podcast Land.
Good morning, CC.
Good morning, baby. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, podcast land.
Good
Glad to hear
morning.
you feeling better today.
Yeah. Hey, first of all, I like Gina, something that's implemented something else. Good morning, podcast land. So when we speak to everybody in the morning and greet everybody, Gina says immediately we greet y'all as individuals too. Y'all know yesterday I was a little under the weather for my show, Real Talk. Um, this reminds me of something that's funny that we always talk about. Gina makes mention of this all the time, and CC back in the day when we had mumps, mitza, blue bella, all them shots, whatever it was. You just walked over to the nurse's station with school with your mother and held your arm, and she told you hold her arm and don't look, and then they gave you that a piece of candy, a smiley face. You took your shot, took your dumb ass to class, and that was it. You just
Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, Frank.
Big nephew. So all we did was took our shot and went to class, and that was it. Y'all going to? I was feeling under the weather yesterday. Y'all know I had bariatric surgery, and I'm gonna tell y'all something that people may or may not know this. The doctor told me this. My wife reads everything, and she was there with me. The doctor said, no matter what anybody tells you, anytime that your body is opened up, your body is a closed tomb. It's a closed tomb. Anytime that your body is opened up for any reason, you subject yourself to germs, you subject yourself to misery, discomfort, whatever. Just all that goes with cutting you open. And they told me that. Now I've lost this weight and I'm feeling real good, and all that's good. But sometimes it may not be a major complication, but it's complications to this thing. They tell you got to take certain pills and all that. You think that you bulletproof, so you take them a while and then stop taking them and all that. Well, I didn't say I got an allergic reaction, Gloria. I didn't say I had an allergic reaction, nothing like that. But I just, as the movie was, remember in the movie Life, the guy they called Can't Get Right. I don't know what's the matter with him, boss. Can't get right. I just couldn't get right. Now I'm fortunate out there in podcast land. I have a wife. And I want y'all to know it means something to her. Sugar Mama, what's up, family? Good morning.
Good morning.
I want y'all to know she puts work into making me doing her part of being a wife, keeping the house stable, keeping the bills right, taking care of husband. Gina Lee, when I told her, or she just heard when I sent that the last minute, because I was going ahead with it. And my wife made that, as she calls now, executive decision. She made the executive decision not to do the show. She said, you keep on running around. We doing shows every day. You keep on ripping and running like this, you're going to crash and burn for later on. So, you know what I mean? Let's right now get you some rest. Take you this, take you that. Went to the doctors. Went over there to, called our doctor what to do. And he told us what it was. And the people sent us a little prescription over the house and all. And guess what? I didn't read it. I didn't question it. None of that. I took them pills, read the bottle, told me what to do, put them in my hand, put them in my body. That's all we did. That's all my wife said. The doctor said, all I did was took them. Why is it the hell y'all having such a hard time with this damn shot? When we just take whatever people say take in the medical field anyway.
Yeah.
No problem. And guess what? I feel a little better. As I always say, I'll bring this thing home. As Doc Sutton says, maybe who'll be joining us later. What's the theory that we'll use? Everybody out there that's not taking this shot, I respect y'all opinion because it's your body and la-di-da. But let's use Dr. Sutton's strategy. Let's either everybody go to jail or everybody come home. Everybody take the shot or nobody take the shot. For the persons out there who idea is not to take the shot, let's use your strategy. Let's nobody take the shot. That'll solve it. Let's say Gina, no. CC, no. Me, no. Frank, no. Everybody out there that took the shot, let's none of us take the shot. Let's use your strategy and let's see where we are. They have a statistic out there that says something stupid like this. This is 2021. They say by the year 2031, if nobody took the shot, 68% of this world's population would be dead. Drum roll, please. In 10 years, if nobody takes the damn shot, 68% of the world would be dead. This shit ain't rocket science. It's not rocket science. Still talking about dumb stuff. Man, they trying to put a Microsoft chip in you to follow you around. Ding, 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 ding. They can follow your dumb ass around.
Right.
Call the telephone. So much for that strategy.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. Don't do that because you know you heard about the Tuskegee Institute and how they are using people for guinea pigs. They got programs downtown that people line up for to get $1,000 to be a guinea pig.
There you go.
So much for that strategy, you damn fools. My wife has canceled our Memorial Day cookout.
Labor Day cookout. I'll get that wrong all the time. Our Labor Day cookout is canceled, and I am GD pissed. Me and Gina and Doc had put on a new, you know, Gina does the plays. She does a role of Harriet Tubman that y'all are aware of. Who is your role going to be for this cookout, Gina?
Angela Davis.
She has put together a new reenactment of Angela Davis where Doc and I was getting to be extras in her show. We were going to get up there and put on our show, put on our costume, entertain the guests, entertain the people. And I was looking forward to it. But because you damn fools aren't taking the shot, they've canceled my cookout. Now, I don't care if you make bad decisions on yourself. If you decide you're going to run around, take a chance of killing your wife, your kids, your family, and all that, and half of y'all dumbasses, this is how dumb it is. You don't take the shot, but your wife takes the shot. Or you don't have the shot, but your kids in the house have the shot. I mean, I don't understand how y'all can be around one household, everybody's in the same mix and stuff like that, and have 2 or 3 different concepts and attitudes. You couldn't even get together to make a conscious decision in your home. So that's just me, and I want to give you my opinion. But once again, I'm saying, you have now affected my household. You have now affected my lifestyle. You have now affected Gina. You've now affected the people who I pay to bring the game truck over there. You've affected Nolan Ross, who does my security, and Hayes, who does my security. Jamie, the best face painter in the world, will not be there and make her $100. We won't get ever to put up the moon bouncers and the water slides and stuff because of that.
Yes, good morning, Cable. She said you pissed to the height of festivity.
Buddy, it's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. There's no end in sight. They are posting these, like I'm saying, my wife gets up in the morning to turn on, is it Good Morning America, see?
CBS this morning.
CBS this morning, she watches Gail, she watches all that because she's current events. I said, well, why didn't you just check it out a couple days ago? Then you would have that. She told me that wouldn't make it current events. Current events is right now. Gina's going to tell you everything about the past, everything about the future, and all that kind of stuff like that. Cece says, my job is to keep you in the loop of what's happening today. So she looks around for some real current stuff. Well, currently, y'all screwed up my damn cookout. That's current. You screwed up my damn cookout.
That's current events for you.
That's current events. I own up to mine, but sounds like I'm bragging on my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because I can. I am. I'm a show-off type cat. I'm party. I want everybody to be in my house, eat up my food. Hey, Gina, did you see my my seafood demonstration at the 4th of July?
Was looking forward to it.
Beast. I went and got a bushel of crabs, laid them out there. My wife put together that white corn. I just know corn, but she got together. She said, "What is it? The white corn, baby?"
Yeah, that's the
What
sweet.
is this white corn? Man, that white corn's sweet. It was a beast. And she put 3 pounds of shrimps in there and chopped up the sausage, put that all stuff in there. Man, it's a beast, man. I never did that before. Found that out of somebody else cookout. I saw him post it. So I was doing my show off thing. I'm party. I want everybody to come drink up my liquor, watch some fireworks, do some stuff like that so I can giggle, get my big shot off. Now I can't. Y'all and not getting the shot have now affected my home. You snakes. Well, hey, Robin.
You had to mute the prices right. Me too, Robin. Good morning.
Hey, listen, y'all. I had to say that. Y'all. I'm let's Bonnie say pissed to the height of festivity with y'all with this pandemic thing. I ain't pissed about the people, the dope fiends and stuff like that just still confused us in the fog like I was. I ain't pissed at the people that can't get back and forth or the people who can't make a way, but I'm pissed at y'all that know better. Man, y'all know better, man. Y'all know better. This ain't smart. I watch the kids, y'all, get ready to get out there on the bus stop, so happy and everything like that they getting out there and they doing that thing and they going back to school. Hands up to the kids going back to school. Hands up, hands up. Did you see how pleased they were when they told us it snowed and school was closed? I was happy as hell when I was a kid. These kids now not. These kids so happy to be back to school, they don't know what to do. They smiling, they on the corner, they laughing and giggling again. They trying to get back to normal. Y'all, we need to get back to normal. Thanks for letting me share. All right, y'all. Damn. Y'all, I always get started real quick. I'm a little passionate about some things and stuff like that, but real talk, y'all, to those of you who are not getting the shot, you are affecting everybody now. It's no longer just about you. You are affecting the way of life. You are affecting people's financial situations. You're just making a piss poor decision. And my prayer is that God brings you around and you make a good decision. If not, y'all, do me a favor. Give me a few of them hitters. Let me hold all they dumbass still. I'll give them the needle. Give y'all the needle. You don't want the needle. I'll give you the needle. With a little blood on your shirt. I bet you take the needle when your mouth goddamn needle. Well done, you dumb bastards. All right, y'all. Thanks for letting me share. After that, I can get into the prayer. Prayer stuff.
We gonna pray for you while we doing it.
Father God, thank you for such wonderful things that's going on in all our lives. Father God, I make that plea to you all the time, Father God, to touch the persons out there that's dealing with this pandemic, the people over there who are losing lives and family members and over there. Father God, I pray that you help the people that's making a bad decision by not doing whatever they can to curb this thing and get it back because it's running rampant again. Father God, we always pray for those persons over there losing their lives in these God-forsaken wars, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, kids, losing limbs and what have you and stuff like that. Father God, we always pray for those persons that are still confused and dealing with this pandemic. Father God, special prayer that Gina always says, Haiti, people over there dealing with wildfires and devastation. Father God, please do whatever you can to help them. Father God, the panel, the show, the persons in podcast land, please bless and keep them all. Moment of silence, please. Amen.
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 You know what I found out too, y'all panel? We see who's watching the show, who comments on what's going on. My wife will be reading some of them in a minute, baby. But we see what's going on. But I want y'all to know, I talk to people all the time. And Gina and Cece, I don't know if y'all know, it's a lot of people watching the show. We got a lot of supporters out there. I want to thank all y'all out there. I talked to people. I was talking to Terry and Ron. They said, yeah, the other day on the show, They may not comment and stuff like that, but we got a lot of people watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this, you know what the show is starting to remind me of? It reminds you of a soapbox opera. Young and the Restless. My favorite is always Victor Newman. That's my hero. Back in the day, it was Roger. Roger was running around trying to steal his Roger dressed up like a clown. She said, "Oh yeah, Roger." The kid got on the merry-go-round. She said, "Hi, Roger." Roger was the clown at the circus. I said, "Roger, this cat. I like this cat." Who was that? Used to always try to take Miss Chancellor's all her men. What was her name? Jill.
Yeah.
Jill took all of Miss Chancellor's men. She took Derek. Then she took somebody else. Then a young person.
Oh, let us find out you've been watching The Young and the Restless for years. That's been a long time ago.
I wish I was watching for years, but I always had a job. But The Young and the Restless been on so long. I remember them back in the days when my children was young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We came with Gina Live. We came up with The Guiding Light. Search for Tomorrow. As the World Turns. Y'all never heard of them, but they was out then. But anyway.
Yeah.
See, The Young and the Restless used to be a paperback.
Really?
Now, reader. Now you reader. A book you didn't read. Good one, Gina. Good one, Gina. If you ain't read that one, you wasn't born when they put it out there. Good.
Got that right.
That's the only reason my wife ain't read it. She wasn't born. But anyhow, you know, that everybody has their character who they like the best. You know what I mean? Who they really followed. You know what I mean? My wife, like I like LeBron James. My real hero was Magic Johnson. I mean, Michael Jordan's good, and LeBron James is right now currently the best I've ever seen. But back in the day, I think the greatest basketball player I've ever seen is Magic Johnson because he handled the ball. He revolutionized basketball. Then after my favorite player after he retired because of the AIDS virus was Shaquille O'Neal. Then when Shaq retired, you know what I mean? Because Baltimore does not have a basketball team. And then people say, well, what about the Bullets? The Bullets are not, I mean, we're a basketball team from Baltimore. The Wizards are not from Baltimore, you idiots. They're not from Baltimore. So I'm not going to go pick up a Washington team. I'm not from Washington. I'm from Baltimore. So since I don't have my town or city does not have a basketball team, I picked a player. My player is LeBron James. So that's who I follow. Now I bring this home. In this podcast right here, people watch so many and they like so many. Read what Sandy's saying.
Sandy Dodson said this would never happen, but if the hospitals announce to the public, if you haven't been vaccinated and have COVID symptoms, don't come to the hospital because you won't be treated, I bet folks would get vaccinated. However, that's wishful thinking because they have to treat the public. It's terrible times we're living in. God bless the children.
Sandy Dodson is worked with me at Taylor Manning, the great Taylor Manning, for years.
And Sugar Mama Jones said, I want them back to normal, but that school thing is very touchy. I don't think it's time because of the very people and things people doing you're talking about.
That's true. And that's a topic we'll talk about. I agree a little bit with you, some, but I disagree because it's just as dangerous in their damn houses. Sugar Mom, he ain't got to worry about going outside to catch it. They ain't been vaccinated in their house. Mm-hmm. They got to worry about their uncle and their mother. You ain't got to worry about the people at school. You got to worry about your mother. She ain't been vaccinated. The less time you spend around her dumbass and whoever else ain't been vaccinated is better. Excuse me, y'all. And that's not ASS. That's AS. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I slur my words.
Right,
so anyway,
right.
So that's what. So I was saying to the panel real quick, different people like different ones of us of the panel. And that's what I like about Simply Us. That's what we are. I want you to know, Gina, you are a lot of people out there in podcast land hero. See, everybody knows who Gina is. They all know who Gina is. They all know who Gina is because she has a lot of topics and they like to hear her talk. Because Gina, you know, like when she does her show and all that, she puts emphasis on, did you know? And we're out here, we're excited today because it's raining. Gina's an actress. Gina's an actress. Cece loves it. We talk about you like
I do. I live for it. I be waiting.
We live for it. You know, when Gina did her first show with me and her was all nervous. and she was nervous. Soon as she started talking, that was all over.
And look, I be sitting in the truck doing the putting the banners up and stuff, and Gina be talking. I'm in there by myself. I sitting there saying, "Go, Gina, get him, Gina, go." Gina.
It's people out there in park. It's people out there in podcast land. It's like we're like characters to them. They love Gina's character. They love Gina's character. CC has came on like a storm. Read that, CC.
Gloria says, I agree with Sherry. They rushed everything too fast. Had they waited to January, I think, everything would have been a little better. But for school, I do not like that idea.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that topic then. Since y'all brought the topic up, we'll discuss that. But you know, they love Gina's character. You know what I mean? Because it's like a character to them. They don't think that Gina's real. They think she's playing a part. I like Gina because you do this. Y'all do know that's a real person that you touch. That's not her. She's a role player, but she is an actress, an award-winning actress, an award-winning podcast winner. But you know, that's how she literally talks. Gina comes from an education teaching family. Mom and them are teachers and stuff like that. So she came up like that. Yeah, I listen to that when they talk about CC. CC has evolved. Yeah, I want y'all to know. So, you know, CC is not, I wouldn't say quiet, but she's not a talker. You know what I mean? I fuss at her all the time about, you know, making head gestures. I can't stand that. You know, sometimes if CC is reading, she is so short with me. She does not want me to interfere, call her, stop her, of anything. If the book would end and then we could talk, that's fine. But the book never ends. All the book ends and it goes to she ordered 3 more books. So she right back to the next chapter of the book. So it never ends. So I don't have to wait. So that's that. Gina has a character to them. CC is the engineer and as Gina has dubbed her, our fearless leader, the smartest woman in the show or on earth or whatever she does. But that's how she dubs her, and that's how people see her. And she goes out her way to be that. Dr. Sutton, everybody goes with the character Dr. Sutton because he's a doctor. Everybody's proud to know that this man, this drug dealing, drug addict thug turned into a doctor by going back to get a PhD. And this person's out there that love party. Party rough around the edges. He only know what he know. It's people that relate to the ex-dope fiend, jailbird, West Baltimore thug. So I want y'all to know I'm talking to y'all out here on our panel. If we think that we're out here touching people, we are. If we think that we're out here entertaining people, we are. If we think that we're out here teaching people, we are. I want y'all to know whatever we're doing, it's working. People are talking to me all the time about, but I never see them chime in. I never see them comment, so we don't know that they're watching. But if y'all want to know if y'all are watching, you are. So one more for my panel for doing an excellent job, for me putting together the A-team, and for the A-team being everything that y'all wanted us to be. Y'all out there in podcast land, I want y'all to put y'all hands together for this panel right here. We'll count to 5 and give y'all 5 seconds to give us a hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you. Thank you to y'all. Hey, let's get on with the show. All right, y'all. Today we're going to start off with Gina. And Gina's going to figure out what she's going to do with us as our historian. Once again, y'all got that smooth person. I know most of y'all on the podcast love this. What I'm getting ready to do, y'all. What I'm getting ready to do. What's it called?
Segue in.
They love it out there, podcast land. They love it on the show. Segue in. And if anybody's new to it, this is how I do this thing. Real smooth. Watch how I do it. I say, Gina, how you today? What's your topic? Let's talk.
Well, good morning, Party Marty, CC, and Podcast Land.
Good morning.
Today, I'm not going to go down the history trail. I'm going to do something current today, too. Today, I'm going to talk about the heat-related school closures.
School closing. Schools just open. What you mean? Closure.
Just opened yesterday. Okay? So,
let's go.
School officials said Sunday that students at several Baltimore schools that lack or are repairing central air conditioning would be dismissed early from school or not have to go at all on extremely hot days. So 21 schools, you hear me? 21 schools, nearly 13% of all schools in the city are without air conditioning. That's according to officials. And 3 others currently have air conditioning units with ongoing repairs.
Excuse me for a minute, Gina. Gina, let me ask you a question. Did you say 21 schools in the state or in the city?
The city.
Damn, 21 schools in Baltimore?
Baltimore City.
That's
okay.
sad.
And the schools, they were going to dismiss the students early yesterday, which they did, or close certain schools if the heat became uncomfortable. Students and staff will participate in virtual learning during the periods when they are dismissed.
Again.
They might as well have just stayed home.
Yeah.
So you know, like I said, there were 21 schools. I'm just going to name a few. Baltimore City College, Benjamin Franklin, Cold Springs Elementary, Collington, Cross Country, Curtis Bay, Elementary Middle, Utah Marshburn, Franklin Square, Furley, Harlem Park, Johnston Square, Montebello, National Academy, New Era, Northwood, Southwest, Vanguard, Windsor Hills, Yorkwood Elementary, the Mount Washington. All of them don't have air conditioning.
That's crazy.
Okay. Then you have Booker T, Excel Academy, and Renaissance that have air conditioning, but it's under repair.
So they don't have air conditioning.
So basically, so stifling hot classrooms have been a perennial problem in Baltimore. When I say perennial, every year, which is some of the states. Now, Baltimore has some of the state's oldest school buildings. School officials have closed schools in the past during the heat wave. In 2018, 75 schools in Baltimore City lacked air conditioning. And the district had tried to air condition in its buildings as funding became available. Well, at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, some issues, like the rusted pipes and buckling gym floors, had to wait. So, like Federal Hill Preparatory, the principal says she's grateful that when her school's 43, now listen to this, 43-year-old roof leaks, the damage is mostly in the stairwells and hallways. She's grateful for that. Okay. Also, if there's heavy rain and wind, tiles fall down, big puddles form, bits of the auditorium ceiling crumble to the floor. So, as the lack of air conditioning in many Baltimore public schools garnered recent media attention and finger pointing from the governor and others, the school system's other maintenance needs, which affect teachers and students year-round, generate less outrage. So there are aging roofs, rusted pipes, crackling steps, broken elevators, all piling up to a massive maintenance backlog that's swollen to nearly $3 billion. That's more than double the district's annual operating budget. So it's become a back-to-school tradition for politicians and community members to rally regarding the lack of adequate air conditioning in Baltimore classrooms. But these conditions would force dozens of schools to close early yesterday. And the sweaty first days of schools have been a yearly almost tradition, led Governor Hogan and Maryland Comptroller Peter Franchot to demand that all city schools be fitted with air conditioners in the next few years. Well, that meant funding for air conditioning has taken precedence over the other pressing projects. So after decades of underinvestment, the city school system needs a dramatic infusion of money because its school buildings have even, for the school buildings to have even a chance at being up to par. Now, we've seen some recent buildings being renovated and so forth, but the recent report shows that $2.4 billion would be needed to replace or renovate the existing buildings. That triggered the creation of a $1 billion initiative called the 21st Century School Buildings Program, which will eventually rebuild or renovate up to 28 schools, nearly 20% of the district's 165 buildings.
And 28. Now I guess we supposed to be thankful for that, but go ahead. Right.
Okay. 9 state-of-the-art schools have opened so far. We know one of them, our own James Moses Elementary, now the Billie Holiday Elementary, and the Calverton Junior High School, which is now the Katherine Johnson Academy. But at the many schools not chosen for the program, deferred maintenance costs continue to compound. Children in most Baltimore schools still rely on bottled water more than a decade after the revelation about lead contamination. And many schools have to hold extra fire drills because their buildings aren't fully covered by automatic sprinkler systems. So pipes burst, roofs leak, windows are broken, and the district officials have to find ways to prioritize the needs with limited dollars. So state commission reports have found Baltimore schools operate with hundreds of millions of dollars a year less than what is needed to educate students. According to a formula used by facility management professionals, the district should be spending about $150 million a year just on building maintenance. Okay, but the district operating budget for maintenance and operations is about $23 million. And that's for this fiscal year alone. The governor's spokeswoman says, under the Hogan administration, the state has provided more funding for school construction and maintenance projects to Baltimore City than any other jurisdiction. She assures that the governor will continue to make historic investments to ensure that our students are able to learn in a safe and healthy environment while pushing for increased accountability and fiscal responsibility from North Avenue. The former mayor, Pugh, had a budget which included $19 million for school capital projects. That was an increase of $2 million every previous year, a move spurred by highly publicized incidents of the winter of 2019 when school heating systems failed across the city. That extra money, however, does little to close the gap between what Baltimore spends on school construction versus its wealthier neighbors. For instance, Anne Arundel County budgeted more than $180 million for school construction projects last fiscal year. But between state and city dollars, Baltimore school officials say They can pay for only a handful of maintenance projects, such as roof replacements, each year. Most schools get the equivalent of a Band-Aid. The chief operating officer says, we're not really touching each of the buildings. We're only addressing the most urgent needs, such as roofs, where we know we've been patching it for so long that it can no longer be patched. The governor's office has repeated criticisms that the city has been fiscally irresponsible, and it's absurd in managing the capital improvement funds that it receives. In January, after a heating crisis left thousands of Baltimore children shivering in their classrooms, the Baltimore Sun reported that state officials had rescinded tens of millions of dollars for building repairs after the projects took too long to become and became too expensive to complete in the designated time frame. So the Interrogacy Committee in School Construction says that the city school system has not managed its state-funded capital projects at the same level as other Maryland school systems. Well, district officials counter that the state system of allocating money punished poor jurisdictions, such as Baltimore. You see, wealthier school systems have been able to pay for school repairs up front and then ask the state for reimbursement later. Baltimore can't afford to do that, leading to the problems with rescinded funds. The state is making some changes to this funding procedure, trying to address this concern. One way school officials approach the committee backlog is through regular blitz cycles. Baltimore schools get visits from facility staff every 6 weeks, during which workers can plow through some of the most pressing work issues. But listen to this. This is interesting. On a recent school day, the Blitz team visited Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary Middle School in Northwest Baltimore, a nearly 50-year-old building with 4 pages of work orders waiting. And while the maintenance crew was present, a teacher's restroom faucet broke. Water rushed out the bathroom, slowly spreading across the hallway's green tile. The principal jumped on her walkie-talkie, requesting assistance and some orange cones. She tried to help as students in a 3rd grade class walked by, pressing themselves close to the wall to avoid the water. This is a perfect example of the issues faced in urban education. When this type of incident occurs, the principal said her staff does everything it can to isolate the areas and not have to impact student learning. She stated the structures are pretty much falling apart, but we can't let that be the obstacle that keeps our students from meeting their goals. The school is built into the side of a hill, which makes it prone to flooding during storms. The gym's hardwood floors have started to buckle, creating a tripping hazard for children. And the chief operating officer said the city needs another 21st century school project, which could fund more new buildings for schools like Dr. Martin Luther King rather than renovate. The ACLU of Maryland, a driving force behind the securing of funding, says opening new buildings as the most cost-effective way to bring the city's infrastructure up to date. The city needs to continue the pace of opening, which are happening now. And so in the meantime, a state-mandated push for district-wide air conditioning has shoved other needs down on the list of priorities. The State Board of Public Works voted to withhold millions of dollars in school construction money from the city, along with Baltimore County, unless officials agreed to install air conditioning in all classrooms by the start of the school year. Well, the board later reinstated the money after the city presented a plan to cool all of its schools within 5 years. That was in 2019. Okay. When Superintendent Santalese discussed the plan with state officials, she noted that the emphasis on air conditioning would have other dire consequences. She says, I also do just want to point out, in the spirit of transparency, that we will be deferring critical projects like fire safety, roofs, in order to implement the air conditioning plan. The city recently asked the state for about $1.5 million for a new roof for Federal Hill Prep to replace the one built, listen to this, in 1975.
Oh wow! I was built in 1975.
46 years ago.
That's when we graduated, Gina. That's when we graduated.
That's a roof for the school. 46 years. And wait a minute. They asked for the money. Excuse me. They asked for the money, but the request was deferred. So the principal there doesn't know whether her school's request was affected by the air conditioning priority or not. So in June of this year, neighboring Baltimore County had only 6 schools closed 3 hours early. Last year, due to lack of air conditioning. All the county school buildings have air conditioning systems, but they did experience a variety of mechanical problems that prevented them from operating as they should. Only two of the schools closed because of power outages. But all of the county schools reopened the next day and operated normally. Baltimore City administrators typically make school closure announcements the evening before an inclement weather event. However, officials oftentimes experience logistical challenges that slow the notification process. Of course, they wouldn't comment on the logistical challenges.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, not only did you have a heat-related closing, but you also had 30 school bus drivers call out, which put a impact on getting the students to school. They haven't commented on why they called out. I'm just saying. So you have, on top of, they're going to school, they're getting out at 12. The bus drivers didn't pick them up in the first place to get there. Then you got parents scrambling to figure out where their children are because the bus never showed up. Okay. It's ridiculous. And the governor came back and said that the heat-related issues are a matter of incompetence with the school board. He said the money is there. They've gotten money for air conditioners in every single Baltimore City public school, except for the 3 Booker T, Renaissance, and I think it was Air Academy. They're not city schools; they are privately run now. So I'm perplexed as to what is going on with here it is the first day of school, and we've got to send our kids home early.
That is so crazy. Sugar Mama Jones said, my point. They won't have these schools repaired correctly for our children. Hot water, air, 3 feet apart or less, bathrooms, asbestos, etc. And now we want to gather them while in the middle of a pandemic in these conditions. This is ridiculous to me. Couldn't agree more.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
You know,
even if, and I know we were in a pandemic last year, but even if you had workers, mask up and put on the proper PPE and go out into the schools and spread out, they could have done some work in those schools over a year and a half.
And I think that last year, while the students were virtually learning, would have been a perfect opportunity to get in there. They wouldn't have had to worry about closing the schools. It wouldn't have been people in the way except for the work crews. They could have got a lot accomplished while those buildings were empty.
Exactly. And that's why the governor is saying, what did y'all do? This is the school board misappropriating the money. Anytime Baltimore County, like I said, they are able to pay up front and be reimbursed, okay, fine that Baltimore City is not able to do that, but still, where's the money? What did you do with it?
Right, and why aren't they able to do it?
Exactly. I'm not getting it.
Great point, Gina. We're going to stay on that topic for a while because that's hot and heavy, and I want to discuss it. But if y'all catch Sandy's last name when you see Sandy Dobson, that she and her family, husband and stuff like that, or what have you, used to own back in the day. Gina, we used to go to Bill Dobson's. Remember, everybody go out there. Okay, that's that family. That's her.
Mm-hmm.
And Sandy can probably comment on this. Because I owned after hour clubs. My wife and I own Party Marty's Moon Bouncers. When they tell us that we have to fix something in our clubs, when they tell us we have to fix something in our business, they give you 30 days. And you got to get it done. You know what I mean? We strap for cash. I know Bill Dawson. I remember one time when I came by there, did a bunch of renovations. They must have got cited for something. So she knows, her and the family and her husband and all, they don't care. You got to reach in your pocket. You need $20,000 in 30 days. You need it in 30 days.
That's it.
Hire a car, sell some blood, do whatever you need to do, but you need to get it done. Gina and Cece came up with a good point. How can you tell me you didn't get something done in schools that were literally closed for over a year? There was nobody in the building, no interruptions, no back and forth, no kids. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for this. I just want y'all to know this. Some of the figures that Gina was hitting us with, to me, don't make sense. They said 21 schools in Baltimore. I thought she meant the state of Maryland. It's 21 schools in this little city that ain't got no air conditioner. In this little city that don't have an air conditioner, that's crazy. When you start talking stuff like 1975, Gina and I graduated in 75. My wife was born in 75. You know how long ago that is to have a roof on your house, on your building? 75 years? That's crazy.
And yeah, Robin, that's a good question. What are they doing with the casino money? You know, they sold us that dream.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all. Let's hit some points, and y'all bring up some points that help me. One, casino money they said would change. They said when we got the lottery that would change. When they got their racing cars down running around in town, that would change. We was once called the city that reads. Reads what? All the libraries are closed. Right. You know what I mean? We have all these different things that they say that we was going to get all this extra money for. If we got all that money from casinos, from the lottery, from the racing cars, from all this, where is it at?
Right.
Where is it at?
Because the whole thing about it is We don't have any more money for the school system than we did before all these plans were implemented. You know, they were implemented. They claimed that casinos were implemented in the state in order to fund the school systems, to have more money for the
Exactly.
school system.
Right.
So now
Right.
we got casinos, and we all know they making money hand over fist. You know, you can't even go in the casinos and have a hat, can't go in the horseshoe and have a slice of pizza going to cost you $12. So
Right.
we know they making money hand over fist. They're not like the casinos in Vegas where they give free drinks and all of that. They charge you top dollar for all of that stuff. So what exactly are they doing with this money?
I agree. It's just it baffles me that I mean, even like I said, when you got kids still drinking bottled water, y'all know that the lead contamination that was at least almost a decade ago.
Exactly.
Discovered that.
Exactly. And Sandy Dotson was saying, right? And Sandy Dotson was saying that a lot that we went through school from elementary to high school with no air, and we lived, which is true. But the
True.
sad part about it is that some of these same schools, when Gina and Maurice or when me or whoever else were in school, these same schools still have these same problems. And back then, we didn't have all of these extra sources of revenue that were supposed to alleviate these problems. You know, back then there were no casinos in Maryland. So now that there are casinos in Maryland, that was one of the main drawing points, is that the money will go to the school system. Now we have extra streams of income coming in, but we have the same schools with the same problems. So that's a problem in and of itself.
I mean, think about when I talk about this, I think about a point that Maurice brought up, I think last show or the show before. When we went to Cambridge, Maryland, and we went on the Harriet Tubman tour, we passed by a one-room schoolhouse, which did not close until 1965. Okay? That's 10 years before this school's roof was put on. That school was a one-room schoolhouse for the Black residents, the Black students of Cambridge, Maryland. Okay?
Gina?
They didn't have air conditioning. They didn't have water fountains. They didn't have the luxuries that we think about today. And I'm not saying that we should not be entitled to these things, because I'm sure at that time the white counterparts probably did have all of those things. So we should have had them as well. But it makes you think what we have been without for so many, many years. Why, like you say, Cece, are we still having the argument of equality?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You know, I don't. Sandy once again commented on that. Sandy's probably my age or so, our age. Like Gina said, we ain't never had no damn air conditioning when we was in school. It didn't stop us from learning. We all turned out just fine. I mean, the things that you're telling our children that they need to have is one of the reasons why. Not saying that you don't. I wouldn't prefer air conditioning, but that's one of the reasons why some of them are spoiled. And I don't say spoiled as a bad thing, because you know the spoiled is a word that you can use several different meanings for. Some people think spoiled means entitled. You know what I mean? Some people think spoil means privilege. It could have a few meanings, but the concept that we waited all this time to send them back to school, and then how dare Gina get on the show and talk about that they've been to school one day, and you mean to tell me they closing schools already? How dare her? Tell me that they closed 21 schools a day later? A day later after being out all this time, and after all of this time, you going to tell me that repairs or what have you could have been being done in the building when no one is in the way. No one is in the way. I've done home improvement. I've done all that kind of stuff. And it's hard to get stuff done with kids coming and going, people all over the place. Can't do it till the evening. Can't do the floors because of the traffic. Now, nobody's there and you didn't get it done. And now you're going to complain about getting it done when time comes. Man, come on, man.
Gee, I know I've played enough casino money to pay for an air conditioner my darn self.
You and me both.
Wait a minute. Drum roll, please. UNCC. One more. Drum roll, please. UNCC have paid enough casino money that we at least have a space shuttle going up in the air tomorrow.
Sugar Mama Jones said she agrees. She said, but if the funds are allocated to something specific, then I believe that's what should be done. Absolutely. I agree with that, Sugar Mama Jones, but I want to know, like, why weren't these projects taking precedent in these empty school buildings? You know, at a time when so many people were out of work, you know, at a time when they were complaining about people being unemployed, drawing unemployment, and all schools were empty. The contractors were available. I just don't know what the problem was. That's a problem right there.
Because when we did our show outside of James Mosier Elementary, currently the Billie Holiday Elementary, there were construction workers out there that day.
Absolutely.
So I don't get it. I really don't get it. Calverton Junior High had construction workers out there that day.
Right.
And you had a whole team.
I was about to say, and you know, one thing about the profession of construction is that, you know, they hire, even though they need people with a specific skill set for some jobs, but a lot of construction companies employ day laborers and people that, you know, just don't have a specific skill set as helpers and all of that. So those school construction projects alone could have put a lot of these people that were out of the work, could have given them some employment.
Exactly. You telling me you couldn't find a plumber to fix a faucet or get a water fountain installed that had non-lead pipes?
Right.
You know, I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Captain Speed, CC, who works on our boat, Captain Speed, owns Maryland Temperature Control. That's what he does, and he bid it on the contracts for doing the school, to put the air conditioning in schools, and that's what he told me. He said Gina, CC, and Podcast Land, he said they would have a meeting after the meeting about the meeting for the meeting. All they kept doing every time they talked about everything would start talking about, you sent me this. Then send me a rendering, then send me this. He said every time they sent me something, they sent me something else. And he said then we would have a meeting. It'd be 10 or 12 contractors in there. And he tell us that. Then they would have another meeting. Then they would have a meeting after meeting. He said, you know what? These meetings, people don't realize a meeting might cost you $10,000. You'd had $10,000 meetings. You'd spent $100,000 in meetings, and you didn't come up with an answer. When it was all over with, they didn't award the contract to anybody. You know, this is a game that they're playing.
It is.
Well, this is definitely a game. All right, y'all. Awesome topic. Everybody out there in Podcast Land, thank you for all your responses. That was an awesome topic.
And okay. Sugar Mama, excuse me for 1 second, babe. Sugar Mama Jones, I know you gave us some responses on some of this COVID stuff about the kids and everything. But when we do our roundtable discussion, we're going to discuss that in depth because you made some really good points, and we're gonna make that one of our subjects that we'll discuss. So I haven't forgotten you.
Yeah, good point, Sandy. Good point, Robin and stuff. We had a lot of them out there. That's why we extended that topic, because that topic was hard and heavy. I'm gonna tell you how long we extended it. It's 12 o'clock. We literally talked about that for an hour. That was a good topic. That's why we're here. We're simply us. We're talking about important events today. I want to tell you all about something. This is my topic real quick. I'm Maurice. Maurice, what's your topic today? Let's talk. Okay, my name is Maurice, reporting for Simply Us. They call me Party Marty. My topic today is, I don't know if anybody's old enough or the Western people out there. This, let me see, Afghanistan, also known as the Magnificent Seven. If people don't know about the Magnificent Seven, have you seen it, Gina? Are you a Western person? No. UCC? No. Okay. Maybe my mother-in-law, Denise Arrington, is watching. We're big-time Western people. Anyway, if anybody's seen the The Magnificent Seven, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's probably the most famous Western of all times. But the format with the Western is about this. They were a town of people, of farmers and what have you. And these bullies used to come around there, mescaleros and bandits and stuff. And they would come through twice a year, rob, rape, pillage, plunder the town, take everything they do, leave and go come back. And then they tell them, cook me this, show me that, leave and go come back. So all the town got together with all their silver and gold and little trinkets and that. And they went and sent 3 people out to go hire some people to defend them. So they went out and gave all these little pieces of jewelry and little money and shares, and they came up with these 7 guys. They was called the Magnificent Seven. Now, these Magnificent Seven was going against 40 thugs. So they came back to the town. They showed the people how to defend themselves, how to fight, how to do this, what to do. They had a whole month to prepare to get these people ready for these bullies, these thugs, when they came back. Well, the thugs came back. The Magnificent Seven was there, and there had to be about 100 people in the village. And they showed them how to shoot, how to fight, how to do this, how to do that. So when the thugs came, when the bandoleros came through, they defeated them, beat them up, sent them on their merry way. Everything was fine. They had a big party for the Magnificent Seven. They ate bonbons and did everything they were doing. The Magnificent Seven went off into the sunset and left. They came back to check on these people 2 months later, just to say hi. They wanted to introduce themselves. When they opened the town up, the bandoleros and stuff had overrun the town. And that's what the Magnificent Seven came up. Yul Brynner is the leader of the Magnificent Seven. Him, James Caan, few of them. And he says, what happened? And he asked the guy, he said, what happened? The bad guys are sitting over there having dinner, relaxing and stuff, said nothing happened. He said, well, how many did you lose? He said, no, didn't lose none. Didn't fire a shot. He said, remember this, drum roll, please. He said, why is it that I spent all this time teaching you to defend yourself? Why is it that you didn't even try to fight? And the bandolero, the bad guy said, is because they're sheep. They're sheep. God made them sheep. God made them sheep. Was never going to be no fighters. God made them sheep. And guess what he said? You got to have sheep. The wolf got to have sheep. Gina and I know this from the song, Pearly. The big fish eat the little fish, and then the little fish. Guess what they eat? They eat the little fish, and even the little fish gets to eat what? The littlest fish, and that's the way it goes. My mother took me to see Pearly. That was one of my favorite songs. Well, over there in Afghanistan, these people went over there. We went over there for 20 years to talk about that topic. We're going to give it 10 minutes. Everybody said they all mad now because we didn't go back over there. Today, Gina, my wife was telling me a suicide bomber did what, CC, over there?
It went and blew itself up at the airport gates. Killed, I think, 13 American soldiers and something like 90 Afghans. Not to mention the people who were injured.
And tell me the ages of the Americans that lost their lives.
They were all under 40. Under 40.
They were all under 40 years old. Y'all steady talking about we should go back over there and help them. What about us getting killed? What about somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's sister, somebody's brother just got blown up for these cats that won't even fight back? What about us? Y'all are oh yeah, that was where we went back. Oh, that wasn't right the way we left people. What about us dying over there? We went over there for 20 years preparing them to defend themselves. And in 20 years, you gave your country back in 4 days. They said technically it was 3. The 4th day they were in the office having coffee, eating bonbons in your place, and they just spent what was it, $18 billion over there, something crazy, teaching you to defend yourself. You didn't fire. They said that they did not fire a shot. They did not fire a shot. Now let's go back over there and get killed some more for these chumps that ain't fighting on their own. When I give you my opinion, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I ain't got nothing to say about people don't fight back. I ain't saying you gotta be the toughest cat in the world. But my mother said this: if you a chump, close your eyes and start swinging. You ain't got no skill, close your eyes, duck your head, start swinging. Charge at them, do something, dribble or shoot. But all this old keep getting people killed over there fooling with them chumps that won't fight for themselves. I ain't got no damn sympathy for you. The Magnificent said, the man said, you over there, they sheep. We're going to keep taking from these chumps. They ain't going to never do nothing. You can teach them all you want. You can give them all the guns you want. You ain't got no heart, you chump. They sheep.
Yeah.
Then the lady said something crazy, pissed my wife off to the height of festivity. Y'all left over there. That ain't no withdrawal. That mean we lost the war. We wasn't fighting no damn war. It's their war. They lost the war. Stop always saying everything that America get in is our war. We did lose a war. We lost in Vietnam. We 10-1. We lost in Vietnam. We'll take that L.
Right.
Y'all don't want to hear it. I'm just standing to everybody out there. Sorry for our loss, but we lost the Vietnam War. That was our war.
Right.
That was our war. We might have lost that, but we ain't losing no Afghan. That ain't our war. We're over there for 20 years helping them chumps out. They didn't fight back. Come on, man. Now let's go back over there and fight for you some more. We got to keep saving everybody. Everybody. My cousin got to die for everybody. My mother has to be going over there to pick up my brother's body from the airport for everybody. If I ain't help you in 20 years, I can go back over there for 20 more. In the 21st year, they're going to take it back from you again, you chump.
Right.
They'll take it back from you again, you chump. There's nothing I see that we could do that would make that situation any better except go back over there and lose some more American lives.
And the whole thing about it is, one thing that America has to understand is that our standard of living will not be the standard of living everywhere. You know, if they chose not to fight back after 20 years of training, then they have resigned themselves to the fact that this is the way they're going to live. And we have to be okay with that. You know, we did what we could. And the person that said that we lost the war was, of course, Republican Representative Elizabeth Cheney. You know, I always like to call them by their names. And the thing is, what war did we lose? We were there as to train. We were there as advisors. We were there as backup. You know, so if a person, one thing that I know to be true is you can give all the weapons, you can give all the training, you can give all the protection, run all the drills that you want. But if a person does not have the heart to carry out the task, then it's all for naught. It's all in vain. Because as soon as you turn your back, if they don't have the heart to defend themselves, you can't give a person heart. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Gina, before you comment, let me say this real quick. Cece and I work in the medical field. And how many times, let's talk about that, people out there, Clifton T. Perkins, people in the medical field that work in these godforsaken jails and hospitals. How many times, CC, you ever go in a unit, they call for the code. And the person over there, they call for the code for, hey, Renee Allen, she knows that. The person that they call for the code for comes over there and tell you, they over there, we wrestling over there. They over there, and you stand there with the clipboard, put the damn clipboard down. This is your unit. I come over there on your unit to restrain somebody. Your ass better be over there restraining too. Right. You ain't gonna point down the hall to tell me to go in there to tussle with that gorilla and you walking around with the clipboard. Right. No, you put the clipboard down and you come in there and you wrestle with the rest of it. This is your unit. When you come to my unit, I tell you which way we going. We going over there to restrain such and such. Or we going down the hall to de-escalate or talk to such and such. But I don't send you down there and I sit up the other end and look down the hall like this. What's happening down there? Take your dumb ass down there with me.
Exactly.
Come down there with me. You gonna fight, you come down there with me. That's how it is. You gotta come down there and make a difference. Y'all know it, Gina. You go over there and get your brother go home, your brother come back. When you come back with your brother, y'all know your brother don't go over there and fight for you. Your brother say y'all was doing something, okay, y'all fight. Your brother don't come fight for you. He come over there and make sure nobody jump in. You fight, get your butt whipped, and start all over, stand you up, fight again. You know what I mean? Now, if you keep on beating up my little brother, then I'm gonna have to whip your ass. You know what I mean? But first, my little brother gonna fight you. You don't come over there and I fight. First, you fight, see if you can win. I got this famous line that my brother always told me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Anybody know me, Mad Max, Carl Evans, and you out there, my best friend, y'all already know. I can beat the average two people. You jump up there, think you banking me, I'm going to run. I'm going to fight you two before I run. Because I can beat the average two people. Real talk. Gina know because how the song go, the country song, where I come from, we eat cornbread and chicken. Where I come from, all the fights is biting and kicking. I ain't trying to win the fight. I'm trying to hurt you. So one of you chumps ain't never been kicked, ain't never been bit, ain't never had your balls stomped. One of y'all ain't never been hitting your ears. Somebody, one of you chumps gonna leave. So I'm gonna fight and try to hurt one of you chumps. First thing they bank me. First thing you do is run. How you know if them two could beat you? Right. How you know if you can win? You ain't find out. Gina, comment please.
No, I was gonna say, as soon as Biden said the mission was on, he told all the Americans over there, get to the airport. Mm-hmm. Get to the airport. Now,
did they go?
If you waited and you was like you said, Party Marty, I wondered if I should go to that. Okay. You got left.
Yeah.
You got what time is it? What time is it? You got left. Yes, we left your butt. Right. No, I should not have to put my life on the line because you're indecisive.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose to stay there, that they did say, the general did say, if any American who chose to stay in a week decides, okay, I want to leave, they are going to go back in and risk their lives to get this food.
Yeah.
They're going to do it. But, I mean, really.
And the thing is, I saw this morning, Gina, they said that they have gotten everybody out except for about 100 people. And this wasn't a surprise. This deal with this date was made during the Trump administration. So this wasn't like this was something that just popped up and all of a sudden you had to get out. You've been new.
The embassy was closing down last year.
Right.
Damn.
And I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but I'm gonna say what I want to say because it's how I feel. I don't think they should go back and get not one damn soul.
Not a
Because
dry one.
if
You
you
done.
waited around and you drug your foot and you didn't know if you was coming or going or whatever, this has been in the mix for a long time. So anybody that wanted to get out had ample opportunity to do so even before this latest rush of everybody to the airport. You knew what was going to happen. The writing was on the wall. Taliban is not unfamiliar to any of us, so we know what they all about. So if you waited to this long and you didn't make it before the deadline of today, then I guess you live in Afghanistan. If it
There
was
you
up to
go.
me.
There you go.
Have y'all seen how they go over there and decide they're gonna climb the Swiss Alps? And then all of a sudden they get stuck somewhere, and somebody got to go up there to get them. And 3 people lose their lives on a rescue mission to go get these dumb bastards. And then next year they're gonna go try it again. You went up there on your own. I'm gonna leave your dumb ass up there. You went up on a mountain. 3 people lost their lives saving you. Now you want me to come back the next year? That same group went up again and got stuck again, and they sent more people. Yeah, you on your own.
Right.
I hope you took some hot chocolate or some coffee. That's all I can say. You're gonna be there while waiting on party.
Mm-hmm.
You know. All right, y'all. Once again, another hot topic and stuff like that. We love everybody for joining in. We hot as firecrackers today. You know what I mean? Per usual stuff like that. Hey, if you ain't part of Simply Us, y'all, be there or be square. Be there or be square. We hot. We what's happening right now. We talking about some topics. You want to hear some more? Well, Gina even hit us with something that she doesn't usually do. Usually she's a historian. So she gave us something that got us all pissed off with the school and stuff like that. You think Gina got you pissed off? You think I pissed you off with the Afghanistan? Wait till we got current events. My lovely wife, CC. Watch y'all. You think you was mad at first? Watch yourself now. Hey, CC. Who you gonna piss off today? I'm Party Marty. Let's talk.
First of all, I'm tired of you making me out to be the villain every day because I am not the villain.
Okay.
However, I do have something for y'all, and this probably is something that y'all haven't even heard about.
Okay.
Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos founder. Now, who is Elizabeth Holmes? Some of y'all are thinking. Okay. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth Holmes founded a startup called Theranos, which they are a blood testing company. And they, when I say blood testing, I mean testing that, like, you know, when you go to the doctor, you get your blood drawn and they test it to see if you got any diseases or whatever. Well, this startup came up with a technology that was supposed to be able to test blood with just the prick of a finger, like a finger stick for diabetic. Instead of, you know, when you get the blood taken, they want 3-4 vials of blood and all of that. Well, this was supposed to do it with a drop of blood. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a little background on Elizabeth Holmes before I tell you what's really going on. She studied as a chemical engineer at Stanford before dropping out in 2003 to work on Theranos when she was 19 years old. In 2014, when she was 30 years old, she was dubbed the world's youngest self-made female billionaire, boasting an estimated net worth of $4.5 billion. Holmes was one of a handful of women leading the Silicon Valley unicorn and was hailed as a visionary. She took after Steve Jobs, one of her heroes, because she often donned a black turtleneck and she never took vacations. Now, she is on trial, and the trial starts today for fraud, and her former COO, which was also her romantic partner, his name is Ramesh Bhalwani, accused of defrauding investors, doctors, and patients. If she's convicted, she faces up to 20 years in prison, 2.75 million in fines, and restitution. Now, what was found later after she boasted about this revolutionary company of hers is that it was all a scam. The Theranos was a blood testing startup, and their technology were called Edison machines. And she said she created it because she wanted to build a world in which no one has to say goodbye too soon. Well, in August of 2015, FDA investigators visited Theranos, demanding to inspect its facilities. Around the same time, regulators from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services found major inaccuracies in Theranos tests and said the company gave dozens of patients questionable test results. 2 months later, a report was published in the Wall Street Journal that said only 15 of the 240 tests that Theranos performed were performed on the Edison machine. The other tests were conducted using traditional blood testing machines. Now, these tests that were performed, the whole thing was found out to be, the technology was found out to be fraudulent. And even the tests that were performed using the machines, like they say one person was, an example that was given was a person was diagnosed as being HIV positive, and the person didn't have HIV. Women were told that their pregnancies were no longer viable, and they were still actually pregnant with healthy fetuses. Now, I said that the fraud charges, they defrauded investors, members of the board, and as well as patients. So they said that they took part in these schemes knowingly. But the interesting thing also is that some of the company's biggest investors included News Corp Executive Chairman Rupert Murdoch, former U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, and members of the Walton family, who are heirs to the Walmart empire. On its board, the company had names like U.S. Secretaries of State George Shultz and Henry Kissinger, former U.S. Secretaries of Defense William Perry and James Mattis, and former Wells Fargo CEO Richard Kovacic. Now, these people, this is like, when I read this story, y'all, I could barely believe it, because like, this is not small potatoes. These are some heavy hitting big names as investors and members of the board. I know that some of those names are familiar, and as well as what they decided to defraud people doing. Blood tests? You told somebody they had HIV and they weren't HIV positive? You told somebody that they lost a baby, devastated a family like that, and they were still pregnant? And now, all of a sudden, Elizabeth Holmes is claiming that she was physically and psychologically abused by her partner in such a manner that he had mind control over her. That this was this was not her doing, that it was all him, because he was so psychologically abusive to her that he controlled what she ate, her phone calls, her emails, all of this. Well, the people that work for the company said that their experience with this couple was exactly the opposite, that she was the dominant one, that she was in the forefront, and the only time that he ever really spoke up was IT related things, because that was his field of expertise. Is that true? Who knows? But it's so funny that at one point she was this force to be reckoned with, saying she was going to change the world. She said first they make fun of you and then you change the world, you know. But now that the SHIT is hitting the fan, now all of a sudden she was abused. She was mind controlled. They had to sever their trials because she said that she couldn't even testify if he was in the same room because it would trigger her PTSD. Come on. Come on now. Come on.
I like
we
him,
all
though.
we all know, you know what I'm saying, even though it doesn't make a difference because it will be just as horrific to me if she was a beautiful person. You know, she's a wonderful person. You know, so her mental state is so fragile. Now, mind you, in the course of the time that this investigation has been underway, she has married a multi-billionaire and just recently had a baby by him, but she can't even be in the same room with this man because she's such a shrinking violet. And the employees of the company said that one of the things that that was very distinct about her was that she had a very deep voice, but they thought that it was being fake because she was in a male dominated field and she wanted to seem more dominant. Now her voice has even changed. They showed the interview of when she was back in the day when she first started this phony startup, and her voice was 3 octaves deeper. And then when she came up for trial and they were showing recent interviews of her, it was so high and mousy, and it didn't even sound like the same person. I said, "Are you kidding me right now?" But I just think that, you know, I'm going to follow that story and see. The trial just started today, and they were concerned about not being able to get an impartial jury. But I said, unless you are somebody to stay on top of news stories or somebody from Silicon Valley, most of the people that I know haven't even heard about. I could tell Gina has because I could tell by her reaction, but most people that I know haven't even heard of it. So they should be able to get an impartial jury as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, to play with people's lives like that, to play with livelihoods like that, you know, and we're going to say alleged at the moment, but if it's found to be true, it's a special place in hell for people like that.
Hey, let me good point. See, let me say this. Because I watched Gina the other day. I'm around my wife, so I know her take on things. I watched Gina the other day. Gina is really, really pissed about I got a lack of words that'll come to me about these heinous crimes that these persons are doing. Somebody's selling COVID shot records, saying that you got the COVID shot, you didn't. Gina made a big deal about that. She's saying that you are playing with people's lives. You hear what Cece just now say? Start talking about a person's not pregnant, the fetus is dead or something like that, and they got a normal pregnancy. You didn't traumatize them and stuff like that. These is real talk. These are heinous crimes, y'all. These are heinous crimes. Don't see them as non-victim crime. These are 10 times worse than blowing up a stadium, 10 times worse than shooting people. These are heinous, heinous crimes. This person is over there lying about blood work. Blood work. That's the only thing that your doctor has to use as his #1 weapon. Your blood test.
Yeah.
Blood work. He tells you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that because it's in your blood. You feel me? That you told that lie. The person over there talking about, yeah, well, that person got the shot. They can go in the club. They can do this. They can do that, and they haven't got the shot. You allowed them to come and infect everybody. You know what I mean? Because you sold them a card for $10. I mean, I don't see them as no different than a suicide bomber over there in Taliban. What's the difference?
Yeah.
You're a murderer. You're taking a chance. The suicide bomber don't know who he gonna blow up. He go over there to blow up some Americans. He also blew up 90 Palestinians. You know what I mean? This world that God has created y'all. I don't know what we doing with it. That's crazy. And off of this lie, you became a multi-billionaire.
The youngest self-made billionaire, female.
As Party Marty calls them, snakes. That's not my words. That's thy word. God called them snakes. God called them snakes. Everybody failed to realize. Let me give you this real quick. People think that Adam went over there and ate the apple and somebody told. No, they didn't. When Eve got Adam to eat the apple, Adam told on himself. The Garden of Eden, God didn't live on earth. God was up there in heaven. He came down. He said, Adam, Adam, where are you? And Adam said, I'm over here. I'm in the cave. You know what I mean? He said, why are you in the cave? He said, because I'm naked. Adam told on himself, if you didn't eat the apple of knowledge, how would you know you were naked? You didn't know you was naked yesterday, but you was naked. You didn't know you was naked for the whole 100 years that they walked on earth. You was naked. But you turned around all of a sudden and say, God, now I'm over here in the cave behind the bush because I'm naked. And people look, yeah. How God find out? He told on himself. He told on himself. You know what I mean? He said you was naked. These other people, if not caught, they would continue to do this heinous shit forever.
Yeah.
They would continue to lie on these reports. That guy, if he sold 100 of them, he would have put in another order for 1,000 next time. 1,000 people would have said that they got their shot and didn't. These, y'all, are heinous crimes. My panel today came up with a lot of knowledge. I like to think that I came up with an important topic myself. This was an awesome day for Simply Us. I hope everybody out there in podcast land got something out of it.
Just really quickly, baby. Gina, what do you think of Miss Elizabeth?
I just, I've read the story and I've seen the, interview. I really, it bothers me that somebody, one, so intelligent with so much knowledge could not have used it for good.
Yeah.
Think of all the benefits she could have created. Something, one, that worked, that really worked, and the lives that she could have changed. That's the thing I think that really hurts, is the fact that you have so much knowledge. I mean, she was one, like you say, she was top of her class at Stanford.
Stanford now. Stanford. This ain't Baltimore City Community College. Right. We're talking about Stanford.
She was, and a female in an engineering world, she could have been, like you say, the next Steve Jobs. But the thing I think, if you listen to the names that you read off, that she surrounded herself with, the Betsy DeVosses, all every last name you mentioned, all of them have questionable integrity. Every last one of them.
Yeah.
Questionable integrity. Every last one. If they're not following Trump and his lie or some other conspiracy out here, all of them, if you think about it, every last one of the names that you mentioned are conspiracy theorists right now.
Yeah. So, and you know what else, Gina? I wonder, had not they defrauded these high-profile people as investors and members of the board, would this have ever come to light? If it was just them cheating the average doctor, the average patient, the average Joe, would this have been such a big deal? Would they
Nope.
have been exposed?
No.
Nope. When you got the Bernie Madoffs and the thing, those kinds of people involved, then it starts to take on a whole new light. Yeah. But if it had been my doctor down at Mercy, no.
Right. They'd have found some way to blame the doctor instead of the technology.
Exactly. Those white collar crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once again, y'all, hats off to another awesome show. This is really, really a good format. I really enjoyed the show today. I enjoy all of them. You know what I mean? But I really enjoyed the show today because it was real informative and it was about important events happening in the world today. I always laugh when I sit back and smile. I look at Gina and listen to Gina and CC when they talk and how they throw names out back and forth across there. This is that, and I don't really, you know what I mean? And it's funny as hell to me because I'm by no means an idiot. I'm sharp as they come. I'm party. But the names and stuff and the persons that they're talking about, I don't know not a damn one of them. Now, I know the names that they mentioned, the people, the Weinsteins, I know them from buildings and stuff like that, but he could have been Frost, he could have been that and all that kind of stuff. So to that lady, whomever that defrauded them with her blood stuff, and the awesome point that CC, who keeps me grounded, I apologize, Gina, because our format is, y'all, we talk about everything, then we make sure that all the panel members, get to comment. I didn't let Gina comment, then I was going to come to in a minute, but CC plays it off and gets me going. It's just amazing to me how if you give a person a chance to talk, you'll learn something from them. Learn to listen, you'll learn. That last point that CC made sure that Gina got her chance to speak on was probably one of the heaviest points of the whole podcast. When the point was, this person came from Stanford, one of the youngest, smartest, brightest out there, and you use all this talent for some bullshit.
Right.
What's the bullshit? You could have cured the common cold. You know what I mean? You could have invented a cure for the polio. You know what I mean? The AIDS, anything like that. But you chose this to be some dumbass billionaire that you was gonna be rich anyway because you're smart. You chose to use it for the wrong stuff. What is the matter with people now?
But you know what? This reminds me of what Doc says. Show me your 7 closest friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you
your features.
That is a beautiful example of that.
Yeah.
Snakes. Yeah. You surrounded your snakes with snakes and you became a snake. And you became a snake. All right, y'all. Damn. Where do you go after this show? All right, that was it. Hey, hands up first to a great show. Hands up first to a great show, y'all. Great, what a team. Doc will be joining us on Thursday. Wednesday, I don't know if y'all know, but we got something special coming out on Wednesday. We're going to be hitting your head at 11 o'clock at the same time where you're going to meet up with our new podcast. Another one we're throwing in the ring. What's it called? CC and Gina, this is y'all baby. What's it called? Or what's
it about?
The
Spotlight on Black businesses.
The Spotlight on Black businesses. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about CC is just named. What is it that you're going to be talking about, CC? Your business is what?
Nature's Secrets, natural skincare products. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna talk to y'all about trying to start up a business, So that should be very informative, and it won't be as long as this one because I can't keep it going like my husband can. But I just want to talk to y'all about some of the challenges and rewards of trying to start a business, and we're going to talk about Gina's business that she has, and if anybody else has a Black business, small business that they'd like to chime in and join us, you can always text Maurice and let him know, and I'd be happy to send you the link and let you join us.
Gina, what's your business and what will you be talking about tomorrow?
My business, I'm an independent consultant for Paparazzi Jewelry, and I'll be talking about how my journey has been going with that.
These
And I
businesses and
might
stuff.
even show a few pieces that, our audience might want to partake in.
We will be showing pieces. That's what the show is about. That's what the show is about. You'll be showing pieces. My wife will be showing you the things that she has and finding out how to get samples and know what to do. I use it now. I'm one of the guinea pigs. I'm baby smooth, Jack. And I smell good. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you something else about these you'll be learning tomorrow and finding out. Gina, who's been doing this for a while, she has a website and all. She's gonna get with CC to create hers and all. Gina hit us with some stuff that she learned. She was at Pastor Rhonda Samuels the other day, and they were having a little thing, and she had her wares and stuff. And Gina told us that she was surprised because out of paparazzi jewelry, who else was buying your paparazzi jewelry, Gina?
Even the men. There was a couples retreat, and even the men were purchasing. I was kind of surprised, but yep. Mm-hmm.
You said you don't know. I did a pop-up, my Party Marty's Moon Bouncers. I'll talk about that myself. 410-800-6628, 410-800-6628. Party Marty's Moon Bouncers and Water Slides. I did a pop-up the weekend over at Druid Hill Park. They have this new thing they do, everybody's having, called pop-ups, where the people do skincare, like Gina, paparazzi and stuff like that. And let me tell y'all something else too. The young lady out there is already doing what Cece's doing. She does body oils and all that kind of stuff like that. And I was telling my wife is doing it. She said, oh, we would love to be there. And then I told my wife about something. You know, my wife is she doing trial and error. She put something together. She said, this now needs to be in the Frigidaire a little longer. This needs to be out. We're doing these things as we're learning. And the person that was doing the pop-up thing, when I was talking to her, she's the first person. She didn't say, oh, this person's going to come here and compete with him. You know what she said? Oh, no, baby. The only thing you got to do is you put it in the Frigidaire for 2 hours. You got to put it in the Frigidaire for 3. Then you got to take it out. These people are helping people. They're not competing.
Yeah.
She ain't run around saying, don't get your jewelry from this person. Let me order it. No. Here's what I have. If you don't have it, you get it someplace else. Fine and well. If I don't have it, I'm going to show you who can get it for you. That lady wanted to show, told Cece what to do with her scrub. She had it in the refrigerator for 2 hours. She said, no, leave it for 3 and then take it out. So it's a process. You learn as you go. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So if y'all want to do you want to learn some business stuff, be here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow. When you talk about some topics, be here where you can learn. And the topic tomorrow and the name of the show is what, see?
Spotlight on Black businesses.
Spotlight on Black businesses. Everybody get out there. Each one teach one. We are not a black show. We are not a white show. We're an informative show. We're trying to get you some information out there where information is power. An awesome show. All right, so closing thoughts, CC.
I just like to say that, we have some people that are faithfully with us every show. And my closing thought is that I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out. Thank you for giving us your input. And just thank you for being supportive. We appreciate it. People will always tell you when you're doing something wrong, but they'll never tell you when you're doing something right. People will always willing to take, but very rarely say thank you. So my closing thought today is I just want you all to know that we appreciate and love y'all, and we appreciate you being here and showing your support for us. It doesn't go unnoticed.
As Gina and Doc always do. Gina and Doc, that's to y'all. Thank you. Gina, closing thoughts?
I just want to say, just keep the world in prayer. Y'all know the Biden White House has a lot on I don't even know how that man goes to sleep at night. With the hurricanes, the flooding, the Afghanistan, the death of the soldiers, the pandemic, immigration, wildfires. How do you sleep? So I just say, pray for our people in charge. Pray for our world. pray for each other, that we all make the right decision to get the vaccination so we can get back to normal and save our children. That's it. Wear the mask.
Hey, two important, powerful closing thoughts. I'm not gonna do anything I can to improve on that, because how do you improve on excellence? I'll just tell everybody out there, our kids are out in the street now. They're back to school. They're excited they all have their heads down talking on their cell phones. They're all looking at each other, laughing and giddy. They aren't paying their attention. Watch out for them, y'all. When you're driving, please slow down. Please slow down. Nothing would devastate you more than hitting a child. You know what I mean? To be somebody. When we came along, Gina is my age, and CC knows part of it. When we came along, y'all, this is my prayer. When we came along, you know what our parents told? If something go wrong, tell an adult. That's what we used to do. Somebody go wrong, tell an adult. Now, most of the things that's happened to you are adult-driven. Y'all out there doing a bunch of dumbass things to be adult. Please try to get a handle on this thing, y'all. Come on, let's be better adults. Open your eyes, slow down, watch out for these kids, and don't tell the kid he should have known better. He shouldn't have crossed in the middle of the street. They don't know better, and they crossing in the middle of the street. Watch out for them, y'all. Do something, man. If you see a kid need something, be there to help the child. If you see them little kids out there fighting and stuff like that, don't always say, let them little badass kids. Why not break it up? How hard is it for you to stop the car and help that little kid that's getting jumped on? Chump. You didn't stop the car because you was afraid of them. Let me tell you all out there, you little bad kids, I ain't afraid of you. See you out there doing some wrong stuff like that, hurting that little kid, I'm going to stop the car. I'm going to go over there and try to put that little kid in the car and take him home, because I wish somebody would do that to my grandchild or grandson out there that's getting banked or beat up. I wish somebody would help them. I wish somebody would talk to them. You know what I mean? We need to be adults at this time. Do the best to be an adult. That's all I can say, y'all. Closing out this thing. Once again, hands up to an awesome episode. Hands up to an awesome episode. We see you tomorrow, y'all. We getting out of here. CC, this thing that took on a birth of its own. I told CC the day, can't we do a 45-minute show? Can't we do an hour show?
Me and Gino show you how to do it tomorrow.
No, you won't. I'm going to still be here.
There goes the neighborhood.
Hey. All right, y'all. Thanks for a good show. Hey, you know what I mean? Like I always say around here, y'all. Thank you for an awesome time, y'all. Be somebody important. Be yourself. Hey, I always end this thing with the same thing. My mother's favorite song. I really feel good about this podcast because I like to think that I have my hand in there, because I do. I have my hand in picking a team. You ain't got to be the person to hit a home run all the time. Be the person that made the lineup. You ain't always got to be the one to run the touchdown. Be the person that handed the ball off to him. Everybody on this panel keeps telling you the same thing. Dr. Ted started it. Please, people, just try and do a little bit more. Not a lot, just do a little bit more. So, on that note, may the work I've done speak for me. May the life I've lived speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave, oh Lord, may they all say, may the service we give on this podcast speak for me. Hands up, panel, hands up, everybody out there. Hey, y'all, go out and have an awesome day. Do what you got to do. Be nice to somebody. Hug somebody. Do something special. Or even if you're just a person like me that keep crying all the time. I don't know what's the matter with me. Touch me and tell me okay. All right, y'all. Have a good day. As always, to God be the glory. Hey, because all we need, y'all, is God's grace and mercy. CC, before you click me off, because I know you got the button loaded, Kenny Davis, take us home. Now go out and have a great day on purpose. Have a great day, Gina.